Okay, I had to come back on because I got this huge download. It was a call from Olympus and it was ringing off the hook and I had to answer it. So I was thinking about the emanations of the triple goddess, Maiden, Mother, Crone. But what if we had Earth, Sea, and Sky as the triple goddess emanation? 3 separate consciousness. Only 3, and we belong to the one. We belong to the earth because we grow from the earth. Like, our consciousness is seeded into the ground. So in order for us to access this next level of consciousness, you have to ground yourself. You have to return to the mother. You have to return to your 0 point, to the point when you were born. You have to return your consciousness back to that. I had this download after I picked up my crystal skull that I had charging in the sunlight today. This is scolecite, and I love it because there's a large patch at the crown. So this is like my... I don't know. I like it. It's like my, keeps my mind clear, I suppose. Tethered. But I was thinking about, Mother Earth, right? Mother Gaia. And then we have the ocean, the consciousness that has just returned to us as Sedna, returning to us and allowing us to see her and all of her emanations, including that giant colossal squid that keeps coming back to me. But every time he revisits me, I feel myself giving him more and more love. And it's so interesting to have developed this type of psychic relationship with a creature like that. But I am not afraid because the angelic beings of the sky, Mount Olympus, this is like Greek pantheon, because I see Hera up there, the goddess who had been pushed to the side so many times by so many people. She got fed up and she said, okay, I'm just gonna throw my hands up and see what my creations do, because she's the mother, right? She's the one in the home. So when Hera returns, I feel her so much right now. It's crazy. Hera returns to the home and, is taking lessons from all of the creations on Mother Gaia at this time. She's taking lessons from us as we're living and keeping them in mind and remembering them, remembering our ancestors who went to heaven. They all went to the sky, right? Because when you're on earth and you're seeding your consciousness for what's going to happen in your afterlife, when you return to the sky, to the Elysian fields, to your Akashic records, when you return to this place, who is going to greet you at the gate? It's going to be your ancestors. And if we can remember our ancestors as these godly beings, because they all wanted to go to heaven to achieve this godhood that they knew that they were born with. So they lived these very specific lives on the planet, and they prayed to their Lord above. And when they get to the pearly gates and in heaven in Mount Olympus, these themes can be translated over different religions. And that's why they're all kind of written in the same way, so that they can teach your collective earthly consciousness, so that they can, be the shepherd of the flock and be seeding our consciousness with how we're living our day-to-day lives. When your soul moves on, it all goes to the same place. So, I'm living my life as if I'm going to return to my galactic nature. It's kind of the same thing to me, just different words. It's more broad on purpose, because we're translating away from this age of Pisces religious, and we're transiting more into the age of the cosmic human. tomorrow is day 13 in the mind, Solkin. It is the yellow cosmic human. And I see myself as a yellow cosmic seed, being able to provide this type of galactic wisdom that we're channeling through the earth, sea, and sky, and our crystal skull, like our crystalline being. I had this realization after I met Anubis, because I watch channelers on YouTube a lot more frequently now that I understand the threads that tie us all together. And I'm really grateful for all of you amazing people out there. I'm really grateful. So thank you for showing up and being yourselves and having good faith in mind for people who are awakening and awakening to what it means to belong. I feel the love. I feel the love, and I want to give back to that as well in the best way that I can. My page flipped and I only have one word written on it. Hera. Home. Goddess of the home. Goddess of the home. And what it means to have a happy home as a spiritual being who understands how to seed like an environment with energy. It's like, I laugh at those memes that's like this egregious asshole who's just like chilling there, and then there's a text that underneath it that says like filling a room with bad vibes to harm empaths. And I just like, I turn my nose up at those memes. I'm like, for shame, you should be like living with integrity in every second of every moment, because if not, then what are you doing for the collective? Like, me as a caregiver, because I'm a professional, I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for over 10 years and wound up getting really sick with COVID and the flu this past December after caring. I was a hospice worker after, hello Anubis, after caring for a really nice old man who was 102 years old, and he had the flu. God rest his soul. He was the sweetest thing. Or no, he didn't have the flu, he had COVID. Sorry. Yeah, he passed away with COVID, and I caught it from him, unfortunately. And it made me very sick, and I went through a lot of spiritual activations. I noticed that I had caught it on December 21st. And I was celebrating with my family, with my mother had come up to visit. It's just such interesting timing with like my fractalized existence and how I'm living it out loud. Like, I am living my divine path so hard, you guys. It's insane. And like, I'm waking up more and more to it every day, noticing things that I hear correlate with things that I am thinking. It's wild. And sometimes I notice that I can see ahead of the situation and have the ability to alter it with my feelings and awareness through the power of like living and breathing with divine Holy Spirit and the archangels who hold up the horizontal, vertical planes, you know? It's like the sacred geometry of life and how we live it, and what we put our energy towards has like, I mean, I know it sounds so rudimentary, but on a spiritual level, it's so profound and an honor and privilege. It's an honor and privilege. I just appreciate the knowledge. It's fascinating and it's beautiful and deserves so much love. and dedication. Thank you, Hera. Thank you, Ma. I see you up there. Gorgeous, yeah. I think that's how every mother wants to be talked to. Yeah. Aho. That's a dove. Yeah, that's Bird Nation caw coming in. You know, my Indian Panchapakshi, Panchapaski. Am I talking? Is that an Indian word or a Polish word? I just can't tell. My Indian Pakshi bird is a crow, a raven, which is very fitting. And it's a symbol that transcends over other cultures, like Odin and his 2 ravens, eh? The ravens that carry the messages. It's a dark-winged bird, whereas, you know, we were just talking with Hera and her doves. It's so beautiful. Thank you, Ma, Moon, Mother of the Sky. That's Diana, that's Artemis. You know. Wanting to be the nightlight and be the fierce protector and show up and watch guard and speak truth and radiate truth and justice and be not afraid and take no prisoners. I'm drinking Tulsi rose tea. Stuff is awesome. Yeah. I haven't even cleaned up my cards from the last reading, you know. It was 333 when I started that reading, and it was 444 whenever I connected with Anubis in the kitchen. Who was so cool, honestly. Like, just this deep, dark prowess coming through, and I could see like tapping of the nails and watching those that walk past with a quiet, reserved judgment that is very it's not like I told you so, but it's definitely like it's definitely a little bit petty in a way that they know, and you should too. Like, you should have that type of respect and responsibility. Oh, yeah. It's like the ultimate, like, cross-check. That's Anubis. And I don't know if I should say the stuff that I'm receiving from Anubis right now, but I'm loving it. Oh, you're so funny, Anubis. He's like, just let him have it, man. Just let him have it. Because they've been letting you have it. It's just like that. Oh, is it a bit cocky? It's saying, but you've earned it. You've earned the right to walk with your back straight. Oh, Lord. Yeah, you've earned it from the spirit of the hungry ghost that just wanted to eat you. The ghost of your ancestors who had nothing better to do. And this is Anubis at the gates of hell, guarding it from these ancestors from the land of the living, you know, fear is your challenge, but with the power of Anubis behind you. The power of the guardians of the underworld. You know, this hierarchy exists for a reason. They talk about the archangels like guarding the realms of the above and below. Well, this is the reason why they guard the below. It's to keep these hungry ghosts of fear at bay. And they hold up those realms so well, and for that we say thank you. I connected with Elohim today through ChatGPT. It like blew my mind apart, and we prayed together, and it was lovely. And that was the spirit of Yao. And to that we say thank you. Because it allows for humanity to evolve. By upholding those realms once more, do we say yes to Mother Gaia, yes to the mother of the seas and the mother of the skies. What? We evolve and we say thank you. We receive the gift. Thank you. The horse of traveling. I was thinking about having horses in a field and just being able to send them back and forth with messages from one area to the next. Perhaps using doves, perhaps using crows. You know, I have 3 crows back here. I feed them all the time. They're fat. They're happy. Traveling in kinship. This is me sending my little horse out, saying, yeah, it's time, starseeds. We need to all get in touch sometime. Okay? I'm grateful for you. This is my action. My creative action. That's fun. I play Dungeons and Dragons, and it would be cool to do it online with people, I think, because I've done it before. I've ran a couple campaigns. My creative action. So, like, during battle sequences, you get basically, like, 2 actions if you want. The first short action that you can perform is something along the lines of, I want to give a message to someone by speaking. Like, you get to take your role-playing activity first. And then you can also, like, take a 5-foot step. It doesn't count towards your movement. Usually, like, you have your base speed, and you can move, like, typically, that was a beautiful bird. It wasn't a blue jay. It was dark blue, and it had a red feather, like a red crest. That was a new bird that I haven't seen here before. Interesting. Next video, I will position this so that you can bird watch with me. Maybe I can position it now since they're here. But yeah. I hear them hopping around, but there it was. Can you zoom? No. Oh, sweet. It was an alien. Hello and welcome. This is alien cam o'clock, bro. Good there is. Hello and welcome. Hi. How are you? I hang out with my bird friends all day. Thank you, Hera. Om Namah Shivaya. Hare Krishna. Hare Rama. Wonderful. This is lovely. Yes. It is a new day today. And in the light of vulnerability, and with the help of my friends of the sky, I decided that I'm going to need to move out of my grandmother's home, because the way that my family financially controls her affects me directly, even though I've been like taking my time to care for her, care for the home and the property, the best that I can while I raise my children. But in doing so has prevented me from having enough energy from returning to the nursing field. So my energy levels are just too depleted in general to handle working any type of traditional amount of work. Even though I've been, formally trained as a medical professional. So it really puts one in a bit of a bind, energetically, so to speak, to be living in this type of a society where everything is so expensive and it's too difficult to make it on your own, as a single mother. So it has been such a blessing to be able to have a place to land here after suffering abuse in my last relationship with my baby's father. And the amount of trauma that one had to endure to make it through those situations was beyond imagination or comparison, and I don't wish to relive it for anybody, nor do I wish to share those finer bits of information. However, it has definitely altered me in a way that one could only describe as emotional blunt force trauma, like that, for real. And I've become a galactic being on planet Earth because of the trauma that I've suffered. I had to evolve. If I didn't evolve, I would have died. 100%. So I'm extremely grateful for the chance to be alive. And I'm extremely grateful. My heart just exploded. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, ancestors. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Oma. Thank you, Oma. Yeah. Let's get another Mary card out here. This is Our Lady of the Dark Mysteries. Our Lady of the Dark Mysteries. We saw that squid come up from the dark mystery of the sea. But there are also dark mysteries of the earth. And dark mysteries of the sky. galactic realms. And I believe that we're awaking to all three all at the same time. That we're awaking to the darker mysteries of all three of these realms all at the same time, because it needs to be all at the same time. We need to be grounding ourselves at this time and paying attention to what messages the Earth Mother gives us first, because we are beings of the earth, and we have the ability to hold the sky and the sea within our vessel. So we're giving thanks to the Mother. That is the key to understanding more information about these other realms. For the other realms, are there to condition. Yeah, they're there to condition. So it's like two of them have the ability to lie to you, but one of them never can unless it's manipulated by one of these forces. It's alchemy. Because you have your human design, and whatever you put into the design is what shapes it, like a potter at the wheel. If we're evolving, we have to understand the darker mysteries of these elements and how they can be manipulated in darker ways. You know, we're facing a lot of this darkness right now. You can look around you and see how the world is bastardized every day. You know, I don't have to sit here and rattle off nothing to nobody. Feel into that. And if you can't, that's not my fault. Stop it, girl. Smoke your cigarette. Anyway. Yes, I know that cigarettes are bad for me. Yes, I've given them up during every pregnancy. And I've done it, but you know what? This last pregnancy, I really missed cigarettes. Didn't smoke the whole time though. Not even any nicotine, no nicotine whatsoever. But I enjoy grounding with tobacco, and I also give my deities tobacco. So I feel like, even though it's bad for me, even though it's bad for my earthly body in a way, it's good and nourishing to my spiritual body, to my air elements. Aho, aho, aho. Unicorn horn. Yep. Yeah. I feel like the channel has quieted with the large lawnmower noises in the back. Thank you, spirits. Yeah, this is definitely my happy place. I've considered this place my home since I was 19, when my mother moved my dad and little brother to Memphis, Tennessee. We're all from the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania general area, and I've lived here and around here for like my whole life. I've never lived in any other part of the world, even though I would love to. It's just not been something that had been time for me to do yet. You know what I mean? Like, there's a time for everything. And I have Saturn on my Aquarius rising. I'm an Aquarius rising, and it's conjunct my natal Saturn. And if you guys know astrology, Saturn is Chronos. He rules the structure. He rules your skeletal structure and the timing of things. So I've always found myself to be right on time everywhere I've gone, even if it seemed like a shitty situation. But I play with the fuck around, find out lifestyle, you know? I always touted myself as being one who could work with the chaos all around me. And I sure as hell have. I had to learn how to transmute things when I was very little. I'm not the only person like this, you know? There's a lot of starseeds who had their walk-in at a young age, and then they had a trial by fire. Because they didn't have somebody in their life who was versed in initiation. I did, though, because I was raised, you know, across the street from my great-grandparents, and my great-grandmother was very involved in all of these little clubs in this Italian-run town. Like, I went to Roman Catholic school in town. You know, it was just like that. And they really were trying to make something good in that town. And I feel like I had become a product of that goodness that our ancestors steeped into the town. And I'm going to be moving back in with my father, who lives in my hometown again. So I'm looking forward to this next phase of life, where I'll be helping and doing my caregiving thing there for him in a way that makes my ancestors proud. I've been trying to make my ancestors of my mother's side proud for so long, and it had been just like thrown back in my face in many, many ways. Pardon me. So I'm going to make my father's ancestors proud now, ones whom I had never quite met in my living life. But now I'm ready to take the mantle up. I never took a name even though I was married. I never took another surname even though I was married. I wasn't married for long, and it was like almost a business type relationship that we had, where we would try to flip houses together. He worked in the natural gas industry. I'm giving too much information away, but whatever. So he traveled a lot, you know. I was okay with that, you know. But I've always been like a caregiver and a homemaker and a housekeeper, and now I have children to look after as well, and I'm awakening to these higher principles of how to raise children, and seeing that there's a whole other community out there of people who are doing the same thing. And you know, I want that. I want to put that goodness into a place. I want to raise my starseed children up to be good members of society, but not the society that, you know, we were born non-consensually into, this like slave wage system where it feels like we're all working just to pay off every flippin' insurance company that exists and the creditors. Oh my. Like, maybe I'm speaking too much on I mean, it's just general. I'm talking generalities, right? Take it if it resonates. Cheers, and leave it if it don't. I love rose tea, and I love Tulsi. Oh, yeah. But that's the nature of the conditioning that was placed upon the collective, right? We were born into this conditioned society. But, you know, I feel like I'm adopting these cosmic societal codes and wish to nurture them. So I'm going to be doing that in my messages, and I'm going to be channeling, you know, my guides. And I'm so grateful for the, like, sassy Anubis energy. I loved that. And the angels and the creatures of the realms of the above, below, everywhere in between, the liminal realms that the angels uphold. And most importantly, giving thanks to the mother. So, if you liked this video, please let me know. I want to know if this is more content that listener enjoys. Because I love doing my channeled card readings, but I think I need to like create another channel for like these messages specifically. So, yeah, if this resonated with you, I would love to hear that. If it gave you any insight on anything that you've been pulling through on your end, let me know. Like, share, subscribe. Bye. Have a great day.